Oba Femi completely annihilated, destroyed, dismantled a tag team in Los Garza last night, 2-on-1 in the Open Challenge. We're week 2 in the Open Challenge, and everybody has already said, no, we're afraid of Oba Femi. What is going on here? Now, I know some of you are going to be like, see, told you, he should have beat Brock Lesnar, and I disagree with that. I think him beating Brock Lesnar was the right call, but I also think what they're doing with him right now, not the right call. 2 weeks in, and he has no challengers. And then we have to sacrifice an entire tag team? Like, that's not cool. I'm a huge Oba Femi supporter, but to me, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And honestly, later in the night, Jacob did it, and I was kind of okay with it. I'm like, oh, cool. This is really powering up Jacob Fatu. But why didn't I support Oba Femi doing it? And someone said it's because you're invested in the Bloodline storyline, and you're not really invested in this Open Challenge. And I think he's right. I apologize for forgetting who actually did that comment, but there is no real storyline to Oba Femi right now. He needed a storyline coming out of WrestleMania, not just, all right, come at me. That's not a storyline. Heck, why doesn't he go to SmackDown and just challenge Cody Rhodes? Cody keeps saying, easy to find, hard to beat. Plus, Oba Femi already had a match with Cody, and he wasn't able to actually pin him 1, 2, 3. And Oba Femi is actually a free agent if you go by WWE.com, so he could easily jump over there. So honestly, we have a story, they just don't want to pull the trigger. This is, I just don't think we should have fed a tag team to him. I just don't get why we fed a tag team. The tag team division is already in shambles. Do we gotta pee on the grave? Do we gotta pee on its grave? I don't know, people. I don't know. But what I do know is you can win this belt on my shoulder. For real, you can. I'm gonna give it away at 30,000 subscribers on my quest to quit my day job. For real, gonna give it away. I was supposed to mail out the Undisputed belt for the 20,000 giveaway today, but I'm at work all day today, so I have tomorrow off. Knock on wood, and I'll mail everything tomorrow. But this one, comment below and subscribe to the channel. You can win not a toy, it's a replica. Let's see some more hot takes. Carmichael says it's all going to be okay with the Oba Femi situation. We're only 2 weeks into an Open Challenge. He is on the road to a world title. So let's wait and see. I am not waiting and seeing anymore when it comes to Triple H. I was waiting and seeing for Braun Breaker. I just kept waiting. Ooh, Papa H, he's cooking Braun Breaker. I have zero interest in Braun Breaker right now because of how long Triple H cooked. I am not saying put the title on Oba Femi next week on Raw, but I am saying put the dude in a storyline next week on Raw. TTJC says Oba forcing a fight was awesome. I don't care if he's a heel or face, just let Oba dominate. Actually, I kind of don't want him to dominate. I kind of agree with View Wheel Excel. Oba coming to the main roster just to squash tag teams isn't working for me. Went from watching him go the distance every month to a 5-minute match if we are lucky. Not saying I want Oba to lose, but I want his competition to at least get some offense in. Yeah, I am very satisfied with what happened at WrestleMania, okay? Let's really understand that. I love that WrestleMania match, but I don't want to see Oba just with 4 moves every week, and that's it. I don't want Oba Femi to become just an entrance. Remember that interview he cut leading into WrestleMania? That was intense and crazy and amazing. And I know for a fact he was literally putting on bangers with Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Moose. He can actually wrestle, but they have pulled him back. And I can already see what's going to happen. The Jey Uso thing is going to happen. They're going to push Oba Femi one certain way. one certain way, and eventually the fans are going to be like, yeah, that's not just doing it for me anymore. Then they're going to be like, well, you see, fans are so fickle. You know, we pushed the guy that you loved just like we pushed Jey Uso. But the problem is, they didn't push the Jey Uso that we loved. They pushed a guy who sold t-shirts and said yeet. The Jey Uso that we loved was the right-hand man, the guy who would crash out, the guy who was three-dimensional. Just like Oba Femi in NXT was a three-dimensional character. He could wrestle, he could talk, he had everything plus the walk. But in WWE, he's just the walk right now, and we need more than that with Oba Femi. He is so freaking talented and good. We're seeing a very small portion of that right now, and I don't think it's gonna benefit him at all. When he first came to the roster, I was high as a kite for this guy, but now I'm holding the kite. I'm holding the kite and I'm flying the Trick Williams kite. Why? Is it because Trick Williams is dominating? No, it's because he has been allowed to get on the microphone, to have storylines, to have character. Trick Williams right now, to me, is the breakout star of the NXT bunch. While Triple H might be trying to force it to be Oba Femi, it's like, we don't need to force Oba Femi. We just need to give him something to do that's not just squash matches. I mean, they're cool, but just over and over and over again, the law of diminishing returns. But that said, there are people who liked it. You know, Long Neck does say, I loved when Oba took Los Garza out of the backstage. So, you know, even though I hated it, I'm glad you liked it. Daniel Kinzer says, the Vision sucks. Joe Hendry is corny. There, that's my hot take. I mean, yes, Joe Hendry is corny, but I think that's part of the charm. However, I am starting to be like, you know, kind of like Oba Femi. What else you got? Is that it? Is it just a song? So, like, let's give Joe Hendry something to do other than just standing next to the Street Profits and smiling. And yes, the Vision, they do suck. I mean, like, has there ever been a faction that needed to break up more than the Vision? I'm not sure. Wrestle Don says, I think Io winning was the right call, but for the love of God, can we please protect the Soul Snatcher? I don't want to see anyone countering or kicking out of it until 5 years from now at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Honestly, I think we should have just protected Sol Ruka. It was the right call for Io to win. However, I don't think those two should have been wrestling, period. What did Io Sky get out of a victory from Sol Ruka? We just had ourselves just a match where both opponents shouldn't really be losing, and yet one of them had to lose. So, out of the two, yes, Io should have won. But, like, why Sol Ruka lose? She's in a program with the Intercontinental Champion, who was in the building but didn't interfere. And she lost her first match against Liv Morgan. Why? Like, I don't understand why Sol Ruka was put in this position last night. Adam the Alien, WWE, says he doesn't really watch the shows anymore. He just waits for my review and for me to keep doing my thing. I appreciate that. I really do. I'll be honest with you. I do those one-take, one-shot reviews, and almost every single time I'm like, God, that sucked. That sucked. But, I don't know. I said one take, one shot, so I just upload it. I'm, like, always pleasantly surprised when people say that they really enjoy my review because, like, of all the things I do on this channel, those are the things that I'm the most self-conscious about. Charles Yancey says, first the New Day, then Kari, then, now I'm sad about Asuka leaving. Please no more for a while. I don't know. I think the fact that WWE has said, here, take a 50% pay cut or leave, I think we're going to be, I think more people are going to be leaving. I love AEW Wrestling says, OMG, let's talk about how overpowered Jacob Fatu is. I really hate how the Usos are useless with Roman, and Jacob made the Bloodline look so weak. He did make the Bloodline look weak. I think one of the reasons why I'm okay with Jacob dominating the Bloodline is because Jacob is a heel. Maybe that's what it is. I kind of think, though, that it should have been Jacob and Royce Keys. Together, it would have probably made a little more sense for them to dominate. But at the end of the day, Jacob is a heel, and the babyface Roman, even though he's really not a babyface, but he is, has to overcome the odds. With Oba Femi's the babyface, so there's no odds to overcome. Like, he's the odds to overcome. Like, nobody wants to see Oba Femi beat, you know? So it's like, I think that's why I don't mind Jacob being overpowered. I could see why, though, that the Roman fans are upset, though, that Roman just looked like an absolute, like, chump. However, that said, like, make no mistake about it, Roman has power. He could probably veto looking like that if he wanted to. I think Roman is actively trying to raise Jacob up. Because don't forget, that's what Roman did for Jay back in the day, and now I think he's doing it for Jacob. Nicholas Getling says, appreciate WWE giving us another moment with Asuka. Single tear shed as she walked off. I do appreciate that they did. So, like, better than nothing. However, I feel like they could have done more. I don't understand why we couldn't have let Asuka go to the ring and say goodbye. Have that segment in the ring so she could say bye to the crowd. Now, if she didn't want to, then fine, whatever. I'm not big on goodbyes myself, but if Asuka, like, was willing, we should have totally put some closure on her career in WWE. Like she was in the building. That could have been like a cool 10-minute segment. I remember when Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels retired, like the next night on Raw, it was a special moment. Them saying goodbye. We could have done that here. Cayman, CMLL, Garza's just buried. Very embarrassing. They need to leave before they're laughing stocks again, even in Mexico. Honestly, it seems like they are leaving. If you look at their Twitter, last night might have been it for them. And even if it isn't for them, like, where do they go from here? They weren't really a top tag team before getting squashed by one dude, so now where do you go? Not saying it can't happen. I mean, Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, one time they were total jobbers in a faction that would routinely get beat up by one or two guys. But honestly, I think they're out the door. Errol Noir says, what exactly is Becky going to do her open challenge? At this point, it's a selective challenge. I think that was the joke. I don't think Becky Lynch was actually doing an open challenge, because when Io Sky came out, she was like, yeah, no, not that one. That defeats the purpose of an open challenge. So Becky was just being a heel, and a great heel, the best heel, because she is the best wrestler in the world. And that's not just me saying it, people. That's Sports Illustrated. Q1TM says, I've known for a while you borrow other creators' screenshots for these, but this confirms it. I'll confirm it. I totally do that. I will go to Facebook, and then I right click and hit save image, and then I post it here for you guys to spark a memory so you could leave a hot take. Is that a thing? You know that none of us are actually going to the event and hitting click with our phone, right? You also know that no matter who does that, it's actually technically infringing on WWE's copyright. They own everything. Like, nobody's allowed. Nobody is technically allowed to actually screenshot anything. I don't understand what the issue here is. Like, have you been for weeks? Like, oh, that Wrestle Chop, he's stealing other people's screenshots? Would it be better if I hit Control Windows Save? I'm sorry. I didn't know that you can't save screenshots anymore unless you actually took the screenshot. That is legit news to me. Even the thumbnail. Let me tell you something. The thumbnail that I'm used on this video, I actually went to Google and I saved it. I saved it and then I altered it a little bit. But I'm sorry. I didn't think you were this was affecting your enjoyment of the channel. I 100% will save images from the internet and then use them for my videos. Or for the channel. I do that. I really do. And Q1TM is like, unsubscribe. All right, you can unsubscribe, but then you can't win the belt. So you might want to just overlook my screenshot piracy. It's OTW says Rusev is now a glorified jobber. Actually, it does feel that way. It does actually feel that way. Elijah Davis just has an emoji of a person putting something in the trash can. I just find that funny. Bishop Marley says, I thought Jacob standing over all of the Bloodline members was a great visual and really makes Jacob seem like a top guy. Yes, he 100% seems like a top guy. they elevated Jacob in this 1 month way more than the last year and a half of SmackDown. Jacob has been just instant main eventer now. I just see him as just a top guy, and I haven't seen him like that since his debut. So great stuff, Roman. All right, boys. All right, girls. Those are your Monday Night Raw hot takes. See you tomorrow. Bye.